Yo, what's up, everyone? It's Kane1 from Hijo De Ramon Music Library, and we're back with another sample breakdown. And we're here to break down Joyner Lucas's The Problem off of his latest album, Evolution. A little backstory on this sample. When I made it, I had a gut feeling that it would end up getting placed. I feel like if you're a sample composer and you finish something, you have like that, just like that gut feeling that tells you like this is gonna end up somewhere special. And I had that feeling after I made this. There was just something about the vibe on this one that it just felt really good, and the fact that I was able to bring in some of my friends to help me make it perfect. And those friends ended up being Al Hug, who helped me with some of the key work, flutes. My guy Samarei, who was a beast with the guitar, and he also played bass on it. And then my guy Curtis Crump Jr., which I speak about him all the time. He plays sax on pretty much all of my shit now. So those three guys helped me bring this sample to life and to make it a masterpiece. So we're gonna get started and break this shit down. We'll start with the piano. So that's pretty straightforward. And I guess to give you guys a little update on this project file ended up being a little screwed up and corrupt. A lot of the files weren't loading, so the plugins that I used to process everything aren't loading. So what I'm doing right now is just going through and playing the stems, and I'm gonna do my best to use my memory to remember what I used to process everything. I remember this one being not so heavy on the processing, just basic EQ, reverb, and some compression, and I'll do my best to like go through and explain everything. But for the piano, I think I ended up using a layered combination of some contact libraries, and that's one of my secrets that I don't think I'm ready to share yet, as far as what pianos I use and what patches I make. I will give you some insight. It's three libraries that are in contact that you're able to stack, and that's about as far as I'm gonna go with that, because that's like my cheat code as far as a piano sound. So yeah, I started with the progression and it sounded good, and I just started building on top of that. The next piece is the bass line. And I had a bass line in place when I sent this over to Samarei. I had initially asked him to play just guitar and like effects and stuff, anything that he heard that could work. I told him just to add, so he went ahead and added a bass line, and it ended up working perfect. It's simple but effective. And I think in the processing, I just used the Native Instruments supercharger compressor just to kind of level things out a little bit, just to make it more smooth, and a tiny bit of EQ. And then this next piece is from Sam as well. This is all the guitar work, which plays a big part of this sample. So yeah, that alone just adds like that soulful vibe, like just that warmth, that just like that feel good feeling with that guitar work on top of the piano and the bass. The next piece is from Al Hug. He contributed flute and the vibes. So we'll play the vibraphone right here. Real simple addition, but I feel like it adds a lot to the composition. And just for the hell of it, let me see if I can play the last four pieces together for context. So you can already kind of tell everything's coming together. Another piece that Al threw in was the flute. Again, like, it's not a whole lot there for the flute, but it's, again, the whole minimal, the less is more. He just played the right amount. Simple. Doesn't get any more simple than that, but it's perfect. In the original composition, before I sent it off to the guys, I had laid in some vocals. And these guys know I love to add vocals to stuff if it makes sense and if it sounds good. A lot of times I try, it doesn't come out right. In this case, it added a lot to the composition, so I'm going to play that for you. And as far as processing with that, I think I just did compression, EQ to take out the low end, and then a lot of room reverb from Valhalla Room, which, you know, you guys already know I use a lot, and that rides out throughout the whole sample. And this sample would not be complete without the Rhodes, so I had to throw in some Rhodes in there too. Now, with this, it's the same Rhodes sound, but I processed one section differently than the other. One section I left kind of dry and kind of brightened up with some EQ, just the basic stock FL EQ. And then the second section here, I did the same processing, except I threw a lot of reverb on top to just kind of give it space. And like it makes sense in the whole composition. I can play the Rhodes, you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. So yeah. Next piece, Synth Effects. This is just kind of like a riser, just like kind of background effects made with the Moog. Believe it was just like a patch that I had made real quick, threw on a bunch of reverb and delay, and some, I think I added the micro shift chorus. Oh, and a little bit of Decimort to kind of give it like a crunch. Now these effects, let's see, forgot what these are. So these are little effects that Sam recorded with his guitar that really fit in the right pockets of this whole piece and adds like the little like ear candy. I didn't ask him to do this. He just did this and he killed it. Like this sample would not be done or complete without this certain stem. I can give you more context, let you hear. You see what I mean? How it just kind of like comes in at the right time. Then I added a lead sound from the synth. That's just a Moog. Pretty straightforward. You can probably hear a little bit of delay and reverb on that, and that's pretty much all I did. And the last piece, which in my honest opinion is the cherry on top of this whole fucking sample, is Crump Jr. saxophone playing. Like, this is what makes it like over the top amazing. And for that, I'll play everything together. there's other sections, like I let him kind of go crazy. For this type of sample, I wanted a section to be kind of open, not so busy, and then a section where he just went nuts. And I'll play some of that busier stuff here. And he had recorded this, I believe, with a friend, or if not, at his own personal studio space. And he sent me back just dry recordings of the sax, and I processed it with a little bit of the vintage Verb from Valhalla, maybe a little bit of EQ, a little bit of compression, but it's pretty much straightforward. I didn't process it to change the sound that much. And that's pretty much the theme for this one. There are no tricks. There are no special software techniques that I use to make these sounds. A lot of this is just coming straight from the guitar, flute, synthesizer, and the VST plugin of a piano. And like the soul just comes from the players, I guess. And this one, it took off, and every time I played it for someone, they were like, "Yo, this one's it." And a few weeks later, to find out that ended up on Joyner Lucas's project, it's just like the cherry on top. And also I want to say shout out to DillyGotItBumpin. He actually made the beat and posted it to YouTube, and Joyner Lucas heard it and hit him up, and he wanted to use it for the project. And then Dilly ended up sending me a DM, and we connected, and he played everything right, connecting with me, and to make sure that clearance was done right, and to make sure the rest of the team got their credit. So shout out to Dilly, and shout out to Curtis, Al, and Sam, and also Boy Wonder, who, as you may know, did the drums and made this shit a banger. So yeah, I think that's it for this one. If you guys enjoyed it, if you guys are looking for samples, you guys already know the link in my bio will take you to my Hijo De Ramon sample library store. I also got a new one-shot pack, which guys are picking it up, and they're making some crazy shit. It's like the ultimate creative tool. It's just a bunch of one-shots of chords, single notes. It kind of enables you to be creative and to create your own sound. So yeah, you guys have a good day. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and then I'll be back on the next one. Thanks.